Dark twist of love. I walked through the park, feeling utterly deserted and helpless. Lost in my thoughts, I found solace in speaking aloud, as if the mere act of vocalizing my troubles could somehow alleviate the weight on my shoulders. Looking back, I should have known. There was always something amiss, a sense of unease that lingered beneath the surface of our seeming connection. But love has a way of blinding us, obscuring the truth, and clouding our judgment. And so, I remained oblivious to the dark secret that lay hidden within our tangled web of relationships. My mother, Becky, was always an enigmatic woman. She had raised me as a single mother, her devotion to me unwavering. Yet as I grew older, I couldn't help but believe the lies she had sold to me, out of her desperation to have a child of her own. She could feel the years slip away. It was during this vulnerable phase of her life that she succumbed to her desires, committing an unfathomable act. She seduced the delivery agent, Mike, who had unwittingly become a pawn in her twisted game. Mike, a kind-hearted soul, had no idea what he was getting himself into. He thought he was special. Till Becky has had enough of the young man. She kicked him off her life. Mike couldn't withstand the pain, so he relocated. Their illicit affair resulted in the birth of a baby girl, yet Becky concealed this from him. But life has a way of unraveling even the most intricately spun webs, and secrets have a peculiar tendency to claw their way to the surface. Years pass, and I have gone to California for my studies. One fateful day, I joined the girls to go clubbing. After a series of shots, I felt drunk and need to go back to my hostel to sleep. I left the club alone because I was single. I noticed the shadows following me. I took to my heels but was blocked in the subway. At that moment, my heartbeat can be heard beating out loud. They pulled out a dagger and were about to take advantage of me when a flashlight from an incoming vehicle made them run. He was my savior. I followed him to his house. His hospitality was excellent, and I felt loved. Soon our hearts intertwined like vines on an old stone wall. He became my rock, my beacon of hope in a world filled with darkness. But little did I know that the tendrils of deceit were wrapping themselves tightly around our lives. Our relationship blossomed, and I took in for him. 6 months gone, and Becky, my mother, came around to visit. The truth finally came crashing down upon me like a tidal wave. I discovered the horrifying reality that the man I had come to love with every fiber of my being was none other than Mike, my father. The revelation shattered my world, tearing apart the very fabric of my existence. The love we shared transformed into a sickening mix of confusion, revulsion, and a gnawing sense of betrayal. I was trapped in a nightmare of my own making, ensnared by the twisted ties of love that had bound us together. The weight of this revelation became too much for Mike to bear. Consumed by guilt, remorse, and a profound sense of hopelessness, he reached the point of no return. In a desperate bid to escape the torment that had enveloped his life, he made a fatal decision. Mike's reckless actions resulted in a devastating accident. He drives directly into the path of a speeding truck, his car colliding with the immense force of the vehicle. The impact was catastrophic, leaving him unconscious and fighting for his life. Word of the incident quickly spread, and I found myself standing by his bedside, staring at his motionless form with a mixture of grief and anger. As Mike lay in a coma, hovering on the precipice between life and death, I was left to pick up the shattered pieces of my existence. The pain of our incestuous relationship and the revelation of my true parentage gnawed at my soul, threatening to consume me. But in the depths of my despair, I found an unexpected source of strength and forgiveness. I realized that harboring anger and resentment would only perpetuate the cycle of pain and destruction. If I wanted to break free from this twisted web, I had to find it within myself to forgive both my mother and Mike. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months. Mike's condition remained unchanged, and I delivered a baby boy at the same hospital. I became a familiar presence in the hospital corridors. During those long hours, I delved into my self-reflection, seeking solace and answers. It was during one of those moments of introspection that a revelation struck me like lightning. I realized that the circumstances of my childbirth did not define me. I was not the product of mistakes, but rather a survivor, capable of forging my path. With newfound determination, I resolved to rebuild my life. I severed ties with my mother and she adopted my child. And I choose to distance myself from the toxic influence that had clouded my judgment for so long. I enrolled in therapy, seeking professional guidance to heal the wounds that ran deep within me. As I began my journey of self-discovery and healing, the unexpected happened. Mike emerged from his coma, his eyes slowly fluttering open. The doctors were amazed at his recovery, and I couldn't help but feel a glimmer of hope. I approached Mike cautiously, unsure of how he would react to my presence. But to my surprise, he reached out for my hand, his eyes filled with a mixture of remorse and gratitude. We spoke at length, pouring out our hearts, sharing our pain, and seeking forgiveness from one another. At that moment, we both understood that the love we had shared had been twisted and distorted by circumstances beyond our control. But we also realized that redemption was possible if we confronted our past head-on and chose a path of healing and forgiveness. Together, we embarked on a journey of redemption, supporting each other through therapy and counseling. We confronted our darkest demons and learned to let go of the guilt and shame that had plagued us for so long. Years passed, and the wounds slowly healed, leaving behind scars that reminded us of the battles we had fought. Mike and I rebuilt our relationship, not as lovers anymore, but as father and daughter, and as two souls connected by a shared past with a determination to create a better future. We dedicated our lives to raising awareness about the complexities of love and the importance of seeking help. When faced with traumatic experiences, we offered solace to those who had experienced similar challenges, helping them find the strength to break free from the chains that bound them. Twist of Love is a testament to the power of forgiveness, redemption, and the resilience of the human spirit. Our story touched the hearts of many, inspiring them to confront their demons and choose a path of healing. And as for me, I learned that love, in all its forms, is not always straightforward. Sometimes it takes unexpected turns and challenges us in unimaginable ways. But if we remain open to growth and forgiveness, love can emerge from the darkest corners, offering redemption and the promise of a brighter future.